Ready.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Hopkinton Select Board. I call the meeting to order. This meeting of the Hopkinton Select Board is being held both in person and remotely using the video conference platform Zoom, pursuant to Section 20 of Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021. I guess I could take this off. All members participating in the meeting are present in the meeting room. The public has the option of attending in person here at the Town Hall or via Zoom using the link posted in this meeting's agenda. This meeting is being recorded. Before we get started, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so the first item on our agenda is the public forum. Please note that each person will have up to 2 minutes to speak at public forum, and please start by stating your name and address. Recognizing that there may be people at the meeting in person and participating remotely who would like to speak, we'll go to the room first. Is there anyone in the room who would like to speak at public forum? No.
You sure? Nothing?
Ben, anyone for... all right. Then we will move on to the consent agenda. The board will consider approving the consent agenda, consisting of approving the minutes of the December 7, 2021 meeting, and accepting the resignation of John Savignano from the Board of Appeals, effective December 31st, 2021. Would anybody like to break anything out?
I'm to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion that's been seconded. Any discussion?
I would like to thank John Savignano for his service. He's been on the Board of Appeals, I think, for 10 years, so really appreciate that.
Here, here. Thank you very, very much, John. It's quite a commitment. Okay, so we have a motion that's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that's unanimous. All right, we're going to get into the annual license renewals. The board will consider renewing the annual licenses. Board members, the applications are in the meeting packet along with the summary document. First is going to be Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 138, Section 12, all alcoholic beverages on premises and associated licenses for the premises. Board members, have you all had a chance to look through this?
This is, so the first one, so motion number one is the all alcoholic. So, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the Section 12 on premises all alcohol beverages licenses as written.
Second.
Is that...
Through the chair, can I make a comment? I just want to remind everybody who's getting a license or renewal of a license, there are contingencies on them, and that they will not get the license until the contingency is taken care of.
Right. So in that vein, I request a motion to renew Section 12 on-premises alcoholic beverages licenses for 2022 and associated licenses with the contingencies noted in the document included in the meeting packet for businesses listed in number 1, items A through K.
Your friendly amendment has been accepted.
Thank you. All right. We have a motion that's been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, aye, too. So all right, that motion passes unanimously. Number 2, it's Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 138, Section 12, wine and malt beverages on premises and associated licenses for the premises.
Mr. Chair, I move to accept the Section 12 on premises wine and malt beverages licenses as written with the contingencies noted in the article.
You made the packet?
In the packet.
For the spoon at one lumber, it says.
Right.
Okay, you accept that friendly amendment?
Yeah. That's what I said.
All right, we have a motion that's been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Next will be the Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 138, Section 19C, Farmers Brewery Pouring Permit and associated licenses for the premises.
I move to renew the Farmer Brewing pouring license for 2022 and associated licenses with the contingencies noted in the document included in the meeting packet for Startline Brewery at 151R Hayden Row.
Second.
All right, we have motions, been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Number 4, Mass General Law, Chapter 138, Section 15, Package Store, all alcoholic beverages and associated licenses for the premises.
I move to renew the Section 15 package store all alcoholic beverages licenses for 2022 and the associated licenses with the contingencies noted in the document included in the meeting packet for businesses in item number 4 for items A, B, and C.
Okay, we have a motion been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstained? Okay, that passes unanimously. Number 5, Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 138, Section 15, Package Store, wine and malt beverages and associated licenses for the premises.
I move to renew the Section 15 package store wine and malt beverages licenses for 2022 and the associated licenses with the contingencies noted in the document included in the meeting packet for businesses listed in number 5, items A and B.
Second.
We have a motion been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Number 6, Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 140, Section 2, Common Victualler Licenses and Associated Licenses for the premises. Would anyone like to break anything out there?
I would, Mr. Chair. I would like to move to renew the common victrola licenses for 2022 and the associated licenses with the contingencies noted in the document included in the meeting packet for businesses listed in number 6, items A through K, with the exception of Hiller's Pizza. I would like to carve that out and vote on that separately, please.
Okay. So then would your motion be that,
So I guess it would be A through,
It's the number we don't want to vote.
6, so it would be A through J?
A through J, yes.
Okay. Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, we have motions been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. So,
Now you would-
common victualler license and associated licenses for the premises for Hiller's Pizza.
Okay. So I move to renew the common victualler license for 2022 with the associated licenses with the contingencies noted in the document and included in the meeting packet for the business listed in item 6, number K, or item K.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second?
All right, we have motions been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Nope.
Any abstaining? Okay, that passes 4-1.
Please make sure that it's noted 4-1. Thank you.
Item 7, Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 151A, Section 1, Municipal Street License.
I move to renew the municipal street license for 2022 for the Metro West Regional Transit Authority.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstained? Okay. Number 8, Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 140, Section 59, License for the Purchase and Sale of Motor Vehicles.
I move to renew the license, remove the Class 2 licenses for 2022 for the Main Street Service Center and Bulldog Fire Apparatus.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Okay, that passes. And number 9, Town of Hopkinton livery license regulations. Livery license.
I move to renew the livery limo license for 2022 for Able Limousine.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Okay, that's unanimous. Okay, new licenses. Lone Wolf Barbecue at 24 Main Street. The board will consider issuing a common victualler license and an entertainment license to Cheryl Kiefer for Lone Wolf Barbecue, a new restaurant at 24 Main Street. Is she on the Zoom?
Is it Karen Remillard is on the Zoom, is that who it is?
No, Karen Remolad's from the Woodville Run Gun. Did we do these?
Yeah.
We did? That's what I thought.
Should we come back to that one later?
Yeah, I think we can come
Required to
back to
open
that.
Yep.
When she shows up. You see her out there? No. So we're going to just move on, we'll come back to that if she comes. So we'll move on to the 2022 annual town meeting warrant. The board will consider voting to open the May 2nd, 2022 annual town meeting warrant, sorry. The warrant must be opened 120 days before the annual town meeting. The warrant will close on February 1st, 2022, which is 90 days before the annual town meeting. Mr. Kamalo.
Through the chair, town meeting is, as I've always said, our Super Bowl. It's the most significant event in our calendar, and opening the warrant is a step that actually begins to bring residents into the town meeting legislative process. And so we're looking forward to the board voting to open the town meeting warrant. That will then allow people to submit their town meeting warrant articles. And for the sake of the public, if anybody is interested in submitting a town meeting warrant article, reach out to Town Hall. We're here at your service. Call your town clerk's office, call the town manager's office. We're here to help you.
Excellent. Well, board, do we have any discussion? Anything you want to talk about?
No, just to note for the public, looks like the warrant would be closing on February 1st. So if any boards or committees want to place articles or citizens petitions, they need to do it by February 1.
Great. Good point. In that case, then I request a motion to open the May 2nd, 2022 annual town meeting warrant.
I move
January 2nd, 22, or a date before?
I move to open the May 2nd, 2022 annual town meeting warrant. This is our last meeting before January 2nd. So.
Yeah.
So, second.
Okay. We have a motion, been seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Okay, that's unanimous. Are you a lone wolf? Are you a lone wolf?
I am. Oh, great.
Oh, please, come on
Come
up.
up and join us.
I'm the wolf pack.
Interestingly, we're not smelling the barbecue.
I'm sorry?
Just kidding.
Okay, moving backward. New licenses that Lone Wolf Barbecue at 24 Main Street. The board will consider issuing a common victualler license and an entertainment license to Cheryl Kiefer for Lone Wolf Barbecue. A new restaurant at 24 Main Street.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, you want to tell us a little bit about this?
Well, I don't recall putting in for an entertainment, but if that's there, we'll accept it.
Okay.
So-
The only thing we would be looking at for entertainment would be, say, our TV, radio,
Yep.
and we have recently purchased a karaoke machine.
Oh,
However,
it's a whole new license you're gonna have to figure out. No, I'm just kidding.
no, so, I mean, that will be something further down the road. We're looking to open as soon as possible. However, we're going to start with abbreviated hours. We're asking for 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. However, we're not sure what the business flow is going to be. So with that said, we're probably more lunch into like an early dinner. We were thinking of closing maybe 7, 8 o'clock p.m., depending on how that runs.
Sure.
So my husband even thought of possibly opening for breakfast. However, at this time, we're still trying to feel out the town of Hopkinton, what they're looking for, what their interests are, what the foot traffic will be. Excuse me. And the takeout will be takeout. We're looking at possible delivery as well. We're keeping our options open so that we can see what the interest and appetite is for Hopkinton. So basically, that's it.
Excellent. So the license that you've applied for is for 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., right? That's the
Correct.
hours. And then, so if we grant that license, then you could open and close when you choose.
Correct.
You have the option to go earlier, or as early as 8 and as late as 9.
No later than 9, yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Khumalo, so say for instance, they open and they decide that they want to do breakfast. Is there a reason why we couldn't right now amend the license rather than have you come back in front of us? Wouldn't it be better for them to ask for a, say, 5 a.m. till 9 p.m. license? Are we allowed to do that on the fly, or?
We are open to anything.
The question is, therefore, if you are going to do breakfast, do you mind restating when you will be opening for breakfast?
You don't have to open for breakfast.
Yeah.
But say you had, I'm just trying to save you some steps down the road if you find that you're packed and...
I really appreciate that, thank you. 5 a.m. would probably be the best time because you've got a lot of people leaving back and forth. You've got the train station right down the street. You've got 495 here. You've got, others heading towards, say Ashland, Natick, Framingham. So you've got quite a flow. I know it is extremely busy, commuting time, children getting out of school. So there is a lot of foot traffic. When we first started painting the outside, I saw on a Friday, I saw a lot of students walking by, and they went and got their pizza, and they went back to school. So I would imagine those are high school students that on specific days are allowed to leave school to grab lunch. And we'd be a little closer to the school, offering tacos and burritos and things that would be of interest to them. So, our eyes and ears are wide open.
Okay, so would you like to amend your license operating hours from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m.?
Yes, please.
Along that same vein, if you were going to offer karaoke, 9 is kind of early to end. I don't know if you would want to extend it on Friday, Saturday a little bit, or you can come back for that too.
If it's possible, Friday and Saturday, I don't know, maybe 11. We don't want to be open too late.
Right.
We want to promote more of a family environment. We don't want it crazy. We don't want alcohol. We don't want the headache of any type of alcohol. I understand, even if we were to do like a BYOB, I don't know if that's allowed in Hopkinton, but we would still be liable if anything were to happen to anyone. My background is finance and insurance, and I do not like that.
There you go. So shall we just stick with the 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. then, it sounds like?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be happy with that.
Okay.
All right, Elaine, any...
Permanent team is good?
Permitting team is fine, everything looks in order?
The application doesn't say entertainment license, right? But,
I didn't think it did.
yeah, but it says in our motion here.
Yeah, but
What's the underlying zoning in terms of entertainment? Because I know we've had
Yes.
issues before.
Well, Bittersweet had one, I think.
yeah, I think
Just
if
having the
there's...
TV as entertainment.
Yeah, if, through the chair, if it's been indicated that there may be TVs,
Oh,
especially if you're contemplating karaoke, you might as well
Go ahead.
request an entertainment license now, rather than you coming back.
okay.
If that's permissible.
Sure.
And
Okay.
then Elena Norman said there were no issues with the license, that everything was complete and everything. Right. Okay.
So the answer was zoning does allow for entertainment?
It doesn't address that here in this district. It's
So it's allowed by default, is that what you're saying?
the zoning enforcement officer will review, and they have reviewed.
Okay. Because I think that other businesses have had difficulty with that in the past. Okay.
Bill's
All right,
has it.
that-
Bill's has TVs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
No,
maybe
the
that's-
TV is not an issue, but
but that's entertainment.
But
But you
that's
need
why
to-
she's getting the entertainment licenses
Yeah,
for the
yeah, you gotta have
TVs and
the
radios. CJ had to come before us for TVs and radios.
okay.
Yeah.
We've seen that in the past. We've owned other restaurants. And the first one we applied for, I believe, was on Waltham, Weston Line. And I was shocked that we had a radio and a TV for everyone coming in for lunch in between, their lunch break, because we were in a business district. Catch up on the news, relax, listen to some music. They required an entertainment license, so
All right.
we're familiar with that.
There we go.
Right.
Okay. So I would
Board
move
members,
to,
do we have any discussion? Any other questions? No?
so I would move to issue a common victrola license and entertainment license for Lone Wolf Barbecue at 24 Main.
Second.
All right.
We have a motion, it's been seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Congratulations.
Welcome to town.
Good luck, we
Welcome to town,
can't
we're
wait to
looking
try it.
So much.
I'm at the office and I'm like, I could really go for a burrito.
When's the opening day?
We were hoping to open later this week, maybe Friday, Saturday, somewhere in there. We will put our open flag out
Nice.
once we do. So right now, we're going to go out and purchase all the foods and start preparing them and getting them ready for service.
So when you say barbecue, what are you doing? You doing ribs and things like that, or are you doing Mexican?
We're doing brisket, turkey, pork, chicken. My husband's the chef, he's next door, he's in the other. And painting.
We've named all the proteins but fish, so you might as well add fish to it.
Shrimp?
Where is it? Smoked salmon?
Yeah. That's your breakfast right
We
there.
got some bagels from across the
Awesome.
street.
Yeah.
Go hand in hand, yeah, that would be a breakfast. No, he was thinking more like a breakfast burrito
Yep.
type of thing.
Yeah.
Or, I'm not sure what else, like I said, he's the executive chef.
That's all right, we'll figure it out when you're open.
In his department.
Sounds good.
We will happily quality control
Yeah.
all your
Yes.
items for you, like you stay at home.
We hope to see all of you there, and we hope you all enjoy it, and we welcome feedback.
You have some brisket competition for the individual tomorrow.
Yes.
So,
I will brisket off you. I will challenge you to a brisket off.
Absolutely, that's Dirk's department. We used to do a lot of competitions years ago.
I revoke my challenge.
That was quick.
Last one we did was up in Lowell. Lowell used to run a lot, and unfortunately, the gentleman is now deceased, and Andy St. Ange is his name. And Dirk, he would always be in contact with Dirk, hey, we're opening, we're coming up on such and such a date. And the final one we did, we decided, you know what, let's bend. And let's let everybody else do the competition. Let's generate some revenue. And we were doing great. And then this horrible microburst came along, it took away our everything else, and that was the last one we did.
Well, welcome to town, I'm looking forward.
Yep.
We'll look for the open flag.
So much, we look forward to it, and we're very, very excited to get started.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much.
See you soon.
Yes.
Okay, moving on, COVID-19 update. Mr. Sean McAuliffe, the Public Health Director, will update the board on the town's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. McAuliffe.
Mr. McAuliffe, Mr. Nasrullah is killing it agenda-wise today, so my stopwatch is going. This is going to be
I am
the...
apologizing right now.
Oh, you're going to be shut off in 5 minutes. You're on.
All right, so, thank you. It's been a busy day. So, I'll start with the positives. For vaccination, we continue to be one of the top vaccinated communities in the Commonwealth. As of Thursday, when the DPH reports out their numbers, 90% or 91% of our 5 to 11-year-olds have received their first vaccination. Based on their numbers, we believe that over 70% of our 5 to 11-year-olds have received both shots. We just ask everybody to remember that you're not fully vaccinated until 14 days after your second shot. We've got about 50 calls right now downstairs addressing that because of something I'll get to in a second. So we're doing well there. We've got a series of clinics planned for January that should bring us, over the 90% or 95% threshold for children the first or second week of January. And in the meantime, we're awaiting, I applied for a large grant from the Metro West Health Foundation, and what we're looking to do is set up a large regional grant, or a large regional clinic that will help those that haven't been able to attend these youth clinics or haven't been able to get boosters, because we know that is a significant challenge right now. We're trying to take care of those two needs with a large clinic, hoping that we can get 4,000 plus put through, and it'll support all of the regional communities that were part of the Westboro Clinic. So I should receive word of the award on Friday, and then we'll start putting that into
Excellent.
putting the planning into action. All of our other vaccination rates are well above 93, 95%. So we're doing great as a community. We're hosting one Moderna clinic this Monday. We'll be hosting more. The residents in Hopkinton are seeking Moderna vaccinations for boosters. The problem we're having right now is that the state is limiting our Moderna shipments to 100. Basically, it's like 100 a week. So it's been a challenge, but we're trying to figure out ways to get around that, and we'll have more information on future Moderna clinics over the next couple weeks. Cases. We've had 99 cases since December 1st.
Oh, boy.
Actually, by now, I expect us to be about 110, because we had 6 before I spoke to Norman earlier, and these cases are all coming from, they're sports related, and the sports related positive cases we've had 6 cases in the last hour, and those 6 cases work with younger children, peers, and participate in
So now you have to contact trace those? So okay.
The school nurses, Simone, Amelia, and I were all actively tracing. On a positive note, most people most of the coaches know what is needed. We're getting lists and lists of children, and so the notifications are going out right now. We expect it to we expect it to easily impact over 100 people. So it's and then out of that 100, I don't know. We'll just wait and see. It's a similar event resulted in a spread of about 60. Going back to the super spreader event we had a couple of weeks ago. So,
Do we know if it's Delta or Omicron?
should be Delta, but we believe it's just right now there are over 100 different Delta variants. Actually, probably closer to 500 or 1,000. I mean, and then every once in a while you get a mutation that just moves faster. And what we've seen over the last couple of weeks is that where you'd have a positive case enter into a household and no one else in the household would get sick. Now everybody is getting sick. So that accounts for why our positivity rate has gone up to 3.69. The state's positivity rate is now at 4.46. I heard through some back channels that they expect the states to be over 5 as of Thursday.
Yikes.
So it's the Delta that we have is spreading well throughout the state. But on a positive note, it's more of a nuisance. We're seeing people with runny noses, sore throats, and some of the loss of smell. Out of all of the cases that we've had over the last, say, 4 months, we've only had 2 that have ended up in the ICU, and both of those individuals were unvaccinated. The DPH provided an update today on Omicron. There are now 16 reported cases in the Commonwealth. 10 are female, 6 are male, 80% were fully vaccinated. 1 went to the hospital, but was released the same day, and most of their symptoms have been mild. 33% of those cases have been traced back to international travel, and out of those, most of them have been younger, late teens to 30s. So the word is that Omicron is spreading slightly faster than Delta. The DPH is hesitant to say that it's less severe because the majority of the population in the state that has contracted it has been young. So you would expect them to have milder symptoms. Holiday travel. We're just recommending that all travelers obtain a PCR test upon their return to Massachusetts. So we want people to plan in 3 to 5 days upon returning so that they can get tested, so that we're not in this same situation with the schools and our daycares. I use myself as an example all the time. I am, sorry to my wife, I'm reluctantly going to Tennessee for Christmas. But we are building in a 4-day buffer on the way back so that we can get everybody in the family tested, so that we know that we're not impacting our workplace and that we're not impacting my children's school. We're just asking that everybody be considerate and build in that extra time to get tested so that we're not having a negative impact on our schools.
Can I ask for the public, they're still doing the free PCR tests at the Ashland train station every day? They're still doing the free PCR tests at the Ashland?
Yes.
So people could plan on that when they get back?
So they are. And then what we're doing is when we have contact with residents, we're recommending that they obtain testing from the facilities that are known to be turning around results within 24 hours.
Broad network.
And my kids, I've had this I've been impacted by this twice in the last 10 days. So I took my kids to Ashland. We had the results in 36 hours. Then yesterday, kids got tested in Lynn, and they had the results in 10 hours. So
Great.
testing is available. It's a little bit more of a challenge. You can coordinate testing at 3 o'clock in the morning. We'll just, and then that just gets to this other thing. What can we do to stop the spread? We can purchase home testing kits. They're available at the pharmacy, through the pharmacy websites, through reputable retail venues. If you have questions, we can help walk you through it. More and more, like places like Binax test kits. You have now an option to get just a regular home test kit, or you can get a proctored test kit where you actually have a code you scan. It pulls up a Binax representative who proctors the test, observes the results, and then that data gets loaded right into the state's COVID database. The others, if you're testing, we just ask that you follow up with either us, the school teacher, or the school nurses, or a medical professional to discuss your results. If someone in the household is sick, we're just recommending that people test. We know it's a bit of an inconvenience and a disruption in your normal everyday lives, but it's that testing that is going to prevent outbreaks in the school and disruptions in the school and the daycares. Hopkinton recently had a resident that sent a child that had been placed into quarantine into school, and they have placed 10 families into quarantine. So the DPH and I are going to be taking some actions because something like this where you've been provided an order, there needs to be some consequences, and just think of the 10 families. I think at least 3 to 4 members per family. We're looking at a significant number of people whose lives were disrupted because someone didn't want to be inconvenienced. And this isn't who we are as a community. We need to really act collectively if we're going to get out of this. As I said, testing, it's becoming a little harder, but it's not impossible. And that, we're here to help you obtain testing. And then, we're just saying that, you need to act collectively and responsibly. Going to work sick isn't an option these days. We need to step back, talk to a medical professional before you go and potentially impact, your workplace or the schools, et cetera. So what are we doing as a municipality? I've had several discussions with the town manager and the emergency management group director, chief. And what we've decided is effective Wednesday morning, because we're here today, we will do the following. And I should note that we're doing this because in neighboring towns where they hadn't acted yet, they've had entire shifts falling ill. They're having to rely on mutual aid to cover different public safety obligations. So what we're trying to do is act a little, proactively, so that we hope we can avoid any future problems. And this last 2 weeks has been, I think we've seen the most cases that we've seen in our municipal employees. So we're trying to just knock that down, and again prevent any losses of shifts or losses of departments. So with the leadership and EMG director's support, employees and visitors within the municipal offices will be required to wear a face covering. Employees can remove their face coverings at their desk, and when they're moving around their desk area, in public areas away from their desk, the expectation is that everyone will have a face covering.
Sean, we're almost at 15 minutes here, buddy. You asked for 5, you gotta sum it up.
Yep.
This is driving me crazy.
I think this is pretty important. though.
Well, it is important, but I think that we need to be able to keep to our agenda. If we ask for, so if you need 15 minutes, ask for 15 minutes.
Right.
This is not the first time that we've gone way over the time. So if you need 15 minutes, ask for 15 minutes. It's 5 minutes, we're already at 50. Yeah, but this isn't the first time, so.
No.
Okay.
You know, once we went 40 minutes, so it's just driving me crazy.
Municipal employees diagnosed with COVID-19 residing inside and outside of Hopkinton will be required to report their positive test results to the health director, public health nurse, or contact tracing nurse. We're finding that residents are employees residing in these smaller communities. They're not getting any guidance. They're not getting any direction on how to respond to their COVID illness. We're just asking that they contact us so we can provide that support that they're not getting. And then when a positive municipal employee is identified, an anonymous notification will go out to all municipal employees so that we can basically track our progress. It's basically like an OSHA tracking system where we're aware of what's going on. We have awareness, we'll be provided guidance on how to, reduce the incidence of illness in the community. Lastly, and quickly, I just encourage everybody to take a look at the Mass Notify website. You can Google Mass Notify. It'll bring you to this site that actually helps with contact tracing.
I was actually about to mention that, because I was at an event, and I got the Mass Notified notices that I had been exposed, and had to go through the whole process, so it's great. I think that everyone should look into it. It's a great way to slow the spread.
So we'll have information sent out to all the employees throughout the rest of this week, and then with that, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, just to
Thank you,
clarify,
Sean.
so there is a temporary reinstatement of the mask mandate at Town Hall now? Is that what we're saying? Okay,
Yeah.
so we should be wearing our masks, right?
No, it's
Effective tomorrow morning.
Effective tomorrow, okay.
But I had it, and I like
And
wearing
just
my
for the
mask.
publics,
So,
when they come to the town clerks, they'll need to wear their mask.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Sean. So that brings us to the town manager report.
Yeah, thank you.
And you got 10 minutes.
Yeah. In terms of the FY23 budget, noteworthy, the next key deliverable is the production and submission of the comprehensive budget, operating and capital to the select board. Working with the finance team, we are hoping that we'll be able to deliver that end of January. And also, we're working with the information that was provided by the school department at the joint school committee, select board and appropriations committee hearing last Thursday, in which the school department identified at least 3 priorities above the level of the budget message. Number 1, a net $1 million increase request for out-of-district special education services. About $400,000 for 9 new special education staff positions in the district. And then finally, they expressed a desire to fund a special education stabilization account. Work is also continuing on schedule in reviewing the other town department capital and operating requests. I can report that the appropriations committee met last week. This is very unusual. Usually the appropriations committee would wait until the select board presents the comprehensive budget to that committee, but they decided they needed to meet now for 2 reasons. As you know, the committee has new members. They wanted to at least introduce them to the budget process. And then secondly, there was a desire to at least share the information on where we are on the budget process for FY23. At the last meeting, I referenced the loss of fire engine number 4.
Yes.
Our standard insurance policy did carry coverage for full replacement cost. Thanks, Elaine. Rather than a depreciated value payout. And also, thanks to Ben, the operator of the repair facility was also required to have heavy coverage by the contract. And therefore, so while the insurance companies sort out their responsibilities and what they're going to contribute towards the replacement of engine 4, we've now proceeded and included it in the FY23 capital budget request.
Does it need to be, if insurance is paying for it, we're going to budget for it, pay for it, and then you'll be reimbursed by the insurance? Is that what we're saying, or?
No, what we're thinking of is we'll go full court press on the insurance contributions, but we all know when you're purchasing fire engines, there's always something you need to upgrade. There's something that we may need to add to the engine, and it will cost above and beyond what the insurance insured it for.
Okay,
So we're planning for that.
Okay.
gotcha.
Okay, and then finally, and this ties in with the third item on the town manager's report. Last night, we all heard about the departmental strategic goals and priorities. I want to assure you that those priorities are a central focus of my budget review, and they will feature prominently in the presentations you receive from the departments in the coming weeks and months. So I want to thank the board also for attending last night's all-hands meeting. Thank the members of the other elected boards as well as chairs of town committees for taking time from their busy schedule to join us last night.
Yeah, I thought it was really well attended and well organized. Good presentation. Yeah.
I think John runs a good meeting.
Yeah. And I also want to thank senior leaders for the preparations that went into last night's event, as well as the feedback that we've received from the board in terms of how best to deliver these events. We actually sent a survey late this afternoon asking for continuous, for feedback that will loop into our continuous improvement process. Yeah.
I appreciate the survey a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. PFAS update.
Can I ask one budget
go ahead.
question before you move to that? The long-term capital improvements plans, have we seen that yet? It was usually, or will that be at the next meeting, or?
No, in fact, we've collected the information.
Okay.
My understanding is that there are 2 meetings planned by CIC this month.
Okay.
One is sometime this week, and then the other one would be towards the before Christmas. And we expect that we will receive the final recommendations first or second week in January.
Okay, so the next time.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, PFAS update, just to share with the board. Actions taken by the board at your last meeting have now been communicated to DEP. John and the PFAS working group are working to define the administrative process for step 1, i.e. how the town is going to conduct the reimbursements. And then secondly, we're also talking with the engineers about what we will need to do to begin the process for preparing for the filtration system.
Mr. Kamala, the engineer from Weston Sampson said there was 1 grant that was available, that she thought we would qualify for that. Has that been applied for, or is it in the process, or?
Yeah, in the process. We do very well in farm development.
Yeah.
We leave no stone unturned. We'll certainly be pursuing that grant.
Excellent.
Great.
That's it.
That's it, all right. Thank you. I think the public is definitely concerned about the PFAS, so keeping them updated is critical here. So that brings us to liaison reports. Does anyone have any?
I do have one from the Historical Commission. They said they are investigating what it takes to become a National Park Service certified local government town. A lot of there are 27 towns in Massachusetts that are certified, and that makes them eligible for a lot more state grants for rehabilitating historic buildings. And so I guess there's a workshop about that in January, and that might help us with Center School if we would strive to get this certification. So we'll learn more in January, I guess.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. And if any one of the commissioners would like to have us support them in that venture, we are available to do so.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Through the chair.
Sure.
It's not really a liaison report, but I just wanted to say that the seniors had a holiday party this week, sponsored by our wonderful police department, and they all had a great time as usual. So they wanted me to thank you fellows for that.
And women.
And women, yes, women. Yes.
Who will be crucified if...
I'm just looking at two guys down here. I did hear from some of the affordable, Sustainable Green Committee, and they're working very hard. They have a lot to do, and they really want to contact with all the other departments because they feel that it's a whole town thing. As they get more into it, the more they find they need input from everybody else. So that's just my comment on them. And from the meeting the other night, they did say to celebrate the things that we do right, and the things that we have been doing right for a while. And I just wanted to also comment, all the leaders were there of the town, but I just also wanted to thank and wish a happy holiday to all of our secretaries, our rank and file departments, and all the people that really make us work and do our job, and because they do theirs so well. And I just want to thank them.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Here, here. And I just want to mention, so last week, the Upper Charles Trails Committee presented a plan. It was a public meeting, and they were able to solicit a lot of input from the community, and I think they're taking it all under advisement and kind of moving forward and trying to develop the best plan they can. Future agenda items. Anyone?
I just had one. For the next PFAS update, there's been a lot of concern in the community about whether the older turf fields at Fruit Street might contain PFAS, and could that be causing contamination in the water? And I have no idea if it is or isn't, but it would be good to know if that could be part of the problem, and if so, when we do get rid of those turf fields, if we dispose of it correctly and everything.
It's a good question, good area of focus. I think as John has reported, many aspects of our work, prior work, many aspects of our day-to-day lives that are related to PFAS.
Yeah, and it's an old field. Technology might have been different.
Yeah.
Mr. Kamalo, for a future agenda item also, we just get I would imagine that'll be, our next meeting is January, correct?
Correct.
So I would imagine that would definitely, the Main Street Corridor project the construction will have been concluded. All the equipment will have been removed, just an update for the season, unless they plan on keep going.
Unless we have great weather.
Right.
The last I checked with John, he's expecting good weather this week.
Good.
And maybe possibly next week, so
Good, yeah,
work may continue.
okay.
All right, fantastic.
Thank you.
So with that, anybody want to make a motion?
I would make a motion to
It's
adjourn.
rather record-setting.
Well,
Fast.
it's a record setting for Mr.
What's the record?
Nasrullah. I think I did one about 8 minutes once.
You're prolonging it by nobody
A
seconding.
regular meeting? or a special meeting?
It was a regular meeting.
We have a motion, anyone want to second it?
I would love to second that.
All right, motion's been seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed, okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.